This is like, what's the definition of this word kairos? I can't stand pretentious words, but it's more something else. Kind of really realised something. So, yeah, doing a kind of curiously grand finale, blurting out stuff. Suddenly, I haven't struggled, I never struggle with anything, but sit in the sun, and I've just read all of these poems. Without a doubt, this is, to me, no, let's not say that. One of the terrible things that's come along in the last 15 years is this, oh, well, we all have different tastes, and whatever works for us. In fact, there's even one line in this, I'm not going to critique this except to say one thing that really is so wonderfully obvious. So kairos means I was just ready. I wasn't even, I've had this for about 3 months. I was just ready now. It's like my mental desk is cleared and energy cleared such that I totally am into this lady's wonderful poems. The best poetry collection I've ever read. Now, here's the thing. So you kind of have this tyranny of different tastes for different people. Bullshit. Poetry is quite a good example, in fact, in that, over my lifetime, one encounters various poems. And there are those which end up, you realise, you hear them on the radio, and you might look them up, are far more popular than others. What is life is full of care, etc. There are just some that are brilliant and others that don't work as well. And then there are some that certain people with certain sort of cultural backgrounds and interests may gravitate towards. But still, you have some that just grab you and plenty that don't. Now, I've never come across a collection where at least half of these, like, wow, that's bloody got some, that's taken me, that's grabbed my soul. But here's the thing, even she has fallen foul of, so let's call it the kind of, well, a lot of culture in Britain the last 10 years has got this social justice tyranny, or just this tyranny of I have to perform. Even that sounds cynical, but I have to reach out through my words or my art to this perception of we always have to now bring in and celebrate this diversity, or reach out to people who are really smashed to pieces by life in one way or another. And it's basically vomit. I care totally, but it's put it that in culture I know doesn't work, but there's a parallel in here. Now, just reading a bit of biography, and you know this happens. If I mean, what is the coast? Well, this coast to me is one thing only. It's nothing special, but it's warmer than where I lived for a long time, which means I can function better. But this tyranny, the poems where included in this are references to the sea, sea-ish things, boats, all of this. It's like a tyranny. It's like, oh, because I'm based in Falmouth or lived in the southwest, there's even 1 or 2 place names. Those ones are rubbish. It's like, how can you put it? It's like this notion that I have to be inclusive of a really dull, the sea, I'm sorry, is pretty dull. Now, I'm somebody who Hemingway's book, The Old Man and the Sea, is magnificent. It kind of created part of my soul. But this tyranny of nothing much interesting is said when boats, the sea, I mean, there's even too much stones and pebbles in. Most people on the planet don't live near boats, sea, and stones and pebbles. What is it? It's not showing off. It's, I mean, the poems that are like really, just, I'm not going to read anybody out because of a copyright, but the really special ones have got nothing to do with this tyranny of, well, I can get to the sea, or I live not far from the sea, and the tyranny is that kind of deepens or enhances my soul. Utter bullshit. You know, if you're a grown-up and have been brought yourself up and educated yourself with proper real culture and really grappling with the human condition, the sea's got nothing to do with it. And yet it's like, well, I'm a professor of what I'm a professor of, and I'm at a seaside town, so I'm good. Well, seaside, they never use the word seaside. It's like, oh, my soul is enhanced by being around the sea. Well, the southwest is just somewhere people from London came because it's a bit warmer and there's a bit of space, and they could, and there was a reasonable train line down here. It's as simple as that. It's so interesting. What's the lesson? Don't put things in your art which you think belong there because of some, oh, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, but to say half the poems in a collection of 40 or 50 are extraordinary is just, I mean, that is the greatest accolade. I've actually collected a load of collections of people's poems this last 9 months, and most of them, one or two are great, but the rest of them, nah. There we go. But I ain't staying by the sea for the sake of staying by the sea. And more importantly, this sort of compulsory, oh, we're going to be by the sea, we're going to visit the sea. It just turns people's brain to cabbage. That's why there's no good conversation. People are terrified of good conversation around here. The whole place, I mean, the whole of the southwest. It's just, these things that the English are the worst in the world at this, I think. That people sort of pull into their life as a kind of, this is guaranteed to extend my soul into something more wonderful and creative, or just nice. Or they do the exact opposite. They turn the thinkers into, or those with some original thought, into, they're saying nothing interesting. That's always the way.